Hello and welcome to the next video of Python for chemical engineering calculations. I want to talk now about the Spyder IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment, and this is this environment we're dealing with. And so far we've been using just this IPython console, but Spyder is much more than that. Furthermore, in the future videos, I will be using the IPython console more rarely. I would be using this window much more. So in this window, we can develop our scripts. And if we need to write more than one or two instructions, then it makes sense to use it. So let's start in a new script. I use Control-N to do that. I can make my fonts a little larger. I can save my script as hello. I want to replace the script which I had here previously. And I want to print hello world. Right? And then I can save this script and run it. It does the same thing as if I printed my hello world here in IPython console. It prints hello world. However, it doesn't do it in a line here, but it runs the entire script. So if I add another instruction here, both instructions will be executed. So print hello Dr. Gore. And if I run this, I will get both of these strings here. So what else it offers? It has this area here at the top. You see my name here, the name of the author, the username I use in this computer, today's date, and I can add a lot of other information. Typically the description of my script, the description of the code which I'm using. So this is an example of this. So hopefully for your scripts you would need a little bit better description, but this serves for my purpose. Okay, what else Spyder offers us? It actually offers us a window called a Variable Explorer, this window here. And if I introduce a variable, let's say variable name, and let the name be Dr. Gore, right? And I will print, instead of printing hello world, I can delete that, or I can comment these out, right? I can disable these lines so it won't be executed, and I can disable this line as well, and I'll do print hello space plus name, right? So the script will do the same thing, hopefully. It will print hello Dr. Gore, but you could also see that here in this window, in the Variable Explorer, there appeared a line that says the name of variable, the type of variable, the size, and the value, Dr. Gore. So if I want to change my variable now, for example, I want to say, well, if I want to be referred as Professor Gore, I can change this variable, right? And run my script. The script does the same thing as it did in the past. It prints hello Dr. Gore, because that was written in my variable name here. But after that, after it prints it, it changes the value of the variable from Dr. Gore to Professor Gore. And this is what it displays here. So this Variable Explorer makes it convenient to debug, to see what are the actual values of your variables in your script. There are other windows, such as the plots windows, which we don't need right now, but overall, that's quite a useful environment. One thing which we can also do with Spyder is to create a project. I actually have this project here, and you can look here and see this Project Explorer. So I called it Project 0. But if I want to start from scratch, I can create a new project. I go here to the menu, Projects, New Project. I want to choose a folder which is convenient for me to use, which will be LearnChemE folder. Open this folder and create a new directory for my project, and project name, let it be, if that was Project 0, that would be Project 1, right? Create. So it closed all my previous scripts. It created a new folder. It didn't create any scripts in there, but now I have this Project 1 in the Explorer. And if I create a new script, I want to do Control-N. If I start saving it, it will offer me to save it in this Project 1 folder. And let me call it something, hello1.python. And the script we'll do print hello world. I run it, it does it here, shows the results in my IPython console. I need to make my fonts a little larger for convenience, and also I want to show you one thing related to IPython console. If I introduce a variable, let's say variable name, Dr. Gore, run my script, I can, well, the script still prints hello world, it doesn't print my name. It shows these variable here in Variable Explorer, but also in case you want to do some manipulations in your IPython console, you can still refer to your variable here. You can get your variables value here as well. So that's for now sufficient to deal with Spyder, with the IDE, but I want to emphasize that all it does, it creates this environment to work with Python scripts, and Python scripts are this text we see here. It's just text documents, and if I close that and actually open my Finder and go to my project here, I can see I have these hello1.py, and you can see the content of it. I can simply open it with a text editor, and it will be a plain text file. The only difference with what we've seen in Spyder that none of these things were highlighted, right? But there are text editors which would highlight it for you. If I open it with another text editor, well, it will highlight this Python syntax for convenience. So long story short, you don't have to work with Spyder with Python scripts, but Spyder provides a convenient environment to do that. And the last thing, well, if you're dealing with it as text files, you might wonder how can you execute it, and if you don't want to execute it in Spyder, you can execute it in your terminal. So if you open your terminal, which is very simple on Mac OS or on Linux, and a little bit more complicated maybe on Windows, but if you open your terminal and navigate to your folder where your script is, so which was LearnChemE, and then in LearnChemE it was project 1, right? If I see what I have here in my folder, I have these hello1. I can do Python hello1, and it will execute my script here from the command line. I don't need all the Spyder interface. And I'm not saying this is the way you should do it, so doing it in Spyder is probably easier.